everybody, welcome back to the Velma Fan Club podcast, featuring a leather-clad, sexy Velma, perhaps, and I said this last time, but perhaps the sexiest Velma yet. I am Simian Jimmy, joined today by the Vice President of the Velma Fan Club podcast, Florian Reviews.
I'm not happy to see Velma wearing high heels, okay? It just doesn't work for me, you know?
No, you need her in a big, thick sweater and just as nerdy as possible. She looks much better without her glasses, no offense to you fucking Four Eyes freaks out there. Also joining us is the Secretary of the Treasury of the Velma Fan Club, Kino Corner.
You know, I know that in this review you're going to try to take me out of context and make it look like I said that Scooby-Doo 2 sucks.
I mean, you know, I might argue you don't even need to be out of context. I certainly appreciated the original film more after watching this one.
Yeah, I haven't seen the original film in so long. I remember I watched both of them quite a lot as a kid, though.
Well, this was my first viewing of Scooby-Doo 2, and I feel like they took a big step backwards.
It feels kind of small and really kind of uneven and all over the place at the same time.
How can it feel small when they have a whole city to play around in?
That's what I mean. It still feels small, like it's one guy that makes these ghost monsters, and a lot of it's in that mine. And there's not a whole lot going on. They kind of just stumble on it. Like they're getting clues for a little bit, and then it's like, oh yeah, no, it's all in the silver mine, and we're just gonna kind of hang out in the silver mine for a little bit. I still didn't think it was that bad. Like I was reading some of the reviews from when it came out, and it was getting panned really bad.
Yeah, I dropped this one.
Critics think.
I dropped it a 3-star on Letterboxd, which for me is just like very middle of the road. Like it's not offensive to the palate, but it's also not impressive in any particular way. It's just the bare minimum to being a good enough movie for me to watch. And I think go ahead.
I was going to say that I think it's a good movie to watch or to review, especially on a July 1st, considering effectively a trans person is the bad guy in this.
Now that Pride Month is over, we can really be proud.
Pride Month is over.
No, that was not a trans person. That was a person just hating being a woman.
They trapped.
Okay?
No, it was they trapped that one guy. Remember the guy at the end said, "But we cuddled," which is PG's talk for "but we fucked."
Yeah.
So you think the cameraman was being transphobic at the end?
Well, they couldn't have.
He was
fucked.
definitely being transphobic.
Like they couldn't have fucked. He couldn't have worn like a vagina mask on his penis, you know?
No, maybe he just thought it was a feminine penis.
Florian, would you agree with this statement? Scooby-Doo 2 Monsters Unleashed is the Mario movie of live-action Scooby-Doo movies?
Wow.
Because I feel like it's more of an adaptation of the source material than the original, but without the benefit of switching it up and adding something new to the formula. It just feels like a very standard, sterile live-action Scooby-Doo, whereas the first movie, and I think this is really the key difference between the two, we talked about in the last Velma podcast that the first movie was meant to be an R-rated adult comedy that they then, very late into the process, changed into being a family film, whereas this one from the get-go was meant basically just for children, and that approach really took a lot of the life out of it for me.
Well, I don't know. I kind of liked it, so I guess maybe it's the Mario movie. I don't know. I personally just couldn't stand.
Are you gonna make like 5 videos attacking anybody who dislikes this?
That's what he should do. You should find
do real well in the algorithm.
I guarantee Nostalgia Critic reviewed this movie at some point. You have to make a video shitting on him. Like, this is the greatest Scooby-Doo media I've ever seen, other than the Velma HBO Max show.
Yeah, I mean, I probably should just stick to defending Velma, if anything.
Yeah, go find some Velma reviewers and shit all over them. I would watch the fuck out of that. Kino, did you see what Florian posted on his channel today? Perhaps the lowest quality, worst video I've ever sat through in my whole life.
No way.
Wait, he was watching through. You said this in the group chat. What was he?
He fell for the Onion. He watched an entire Onion news interview, and he's like laughing at it, like, I can't believe this is real. And then at the end, he's like, oh wait, it's the Onion. Well, I guess I'll upload this anyway. What the fuck? Like, what was the point of this? I figured out that Florian doesn't get satire. Like, what the fuck?
I liked it. Okay, Jesus.
I just don't understand what the point of the video was.
I liked how Florian on his community tab, it came up at the top of my my YouTube mobile subscription feed was Florian's community tab, and he was complaining about ads on cam rips.
Poor friend, okay, I would never watch those myself.
Yeah, well, what was his argument?
Why the fuck is this at the top? Like, it's not even a video at the top of my feed. It's Florian fucking
people
community
don't post enough, apparently, but I guess you do seem to watch my videos more than other videos.
So,
I watch
Florian,
all your videos.
Was your argument that why would a gambling company want to be associated with a cam rip of a movie?
Well, not just that. It's just like when I see, oh, here's a casino. Fucking skip. Just let me get back to the movie. And there's not even a movie. It's just like there was a casino. What? This just gives me like a reflex that I hate casinos more than I would normally. So
well, that's a good reflex to have. You should absolutely never step foot in a casino. It only leads to misery for everybody other than the casino owner.
I guess those cam rips can really save lives.
To win money. I go to casinos to win money.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? Like you know what the most surreal? I hate casinos. You know, and I hate the Las Vegas airport. Have you ever been to the Las Vegas airport?
Oh, that is the worst airport in America. I just saw an article. Like, officially, it is the worst one.
Nice.
It's one large casino. And actually, when I was flying back from Las Vegas last year, I was there for a conference. I was flying back, and somebody blew up a firecracker at the gate. And they shut the entire airport down for 2 hours. And it took me 4 hours to get through the TSA line. And they were still having the airplanes go on time. I barely got into my flight, and there was hardly anybody in there. And they're like, all right, we're taking off. Yeah, it's our fault, like, that we let this person bring fireworks into the gate. But we're not going to delay the flight. Dude, I hate that airport so much. But anyways, back to Scooby-Doo. I want to say that, it's been a while since I've seen that first Scooby-Doo. But this one works almost as like an extended episode of a Scooby-Doo, but live action. You know, it's got all the kind of stereotypes or the trappings of a Scooby-Doo episode, where it's like a lot of the haunted house, you know, the mine. They go into the kind of the haunted mansion, and then the mine, and then it's like kind of playing on all this nostalgia with all of like the classic villains from the original run of the show. You know, like this. Like the Submariner guy, or you know, the Miner 49er and the Electro dude, and it's really it really plays into a lot of the nostalgia stuff. But what I really liked about it was how early 2000s it was, and how it had Ruben Studdard, the winner of the second season of American Idol, sing at the end, and it's such
wow, I did not catch that reference.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's such a product of like the early 2000s.
Seth Green is seen as like a sexual conquest for Velma.
Yeah, that's like before he was known for being Chris Griffin and Robot Chicken.
No, it was 2004. He's probably known for Chris at that point.
He was known a little bit, but I'd say in the movie sphere, he was more known for Austin Powers as being the son of Dr. Evil.
Sure, and he's also very good in the movie Rat Race.
I mean, he looks good in the movie, though. I don't know.
He's very sexy manlet. You know, I've got a lot to compete with if I want to win Leather Velma's heart.
And they definitely had him. He was such an obvious red herring character.
Unlike a pup named Scooby-Doo with a character named Red Herring. We should put that on the list. We need to review some pup named Scooby-Doo at some point. I remember liking that show.
Yeah, he was like such the obvious red herring character, because he'd be like, I just have to think, and he walks away, and immediately like the bad guy shows up. But it was pretty obvious that the main antagonist was the fake news media. It's the lying journalists.
Not much has changed in 20 years.
No, not much has changed.
Florian, we just let Kino go on for 10 minutes. What are your initial thoughts on this fine film?
Well, I mean, like I still can hardly ever relate to Scooby-Doo, you know, like I don't know what people even like about these movies, you know, but I mean, I don't know. I thought it was as good as it could be, you know, for that. Like if you're fine just hearing like stupid cartoon noises all the time and Scooby just having the craziest antics, you know.
Yeah, I'd say this one especially is just the cartoon come to life, whereas I think with the first one, it was more of let's take the concept of these characters and have fun with it. This is, yeah, like Kino and you were saying, this is literally just an extended episode of the cartoon filmed in live action, and they add nothing new to the table.
Well, they do add a sexy Shaggy to the table.
Do we want to talk about that scene when Shaggy
I'm talking
and Scooby,
about when he's bulked up.
Yeah, they take some potions and their bodies change. And have you seen The Sopranos? I assume both of you have.
Yeah,
I've seen 2 seasons.
So the scene when Shaggy's head is like CGI imposed on a sexy woman's body, it looked exactly like when Tony Soprano's mom died, and they did that for the actress to have her in one more scene. Like, it was just horrible CGI.
That.
The final scene that Tony's mom is in, watch it again. The CGI is so bad I stopped watching the show for a month.
Holy shit.
Oh man.
I was so turned off.
Yeah, it passed right over me. I didn't notice at all.
Oh.
Yeah, I noticed that on Shaggy. I think that the face, especially on the woman's body, was particularly bad.
Yeah, that was the bad part. Now, did you notice when Scooby-Doo in this scene, he becomes extremely intelligent. It's very much like a Flowers for Algernon type of thing. And as soon as Scooby has the brain of Albert Einstein and can talk fluently, basically the first thing he says was how he longs for the ignorance he had just minutes ago. So is intelligence the truest curse? Like, Scooby was suffering and he desperately wanted to become stupid again.
Ignorance is bliss.
I can't believe that Einstein Scooby would deprive us of his great mind, especially after he's committed to this vow of being less wacky and being more serious, and then he just throws it all out and mixes up those chemicals so he can become stupid.
That was the only time Florian could relate to Scooby-Doo, is when he had an IQ of 180.
I know, that
he's
would
like,
have been so
I made
good.
a Roshan.
That was so good. Yeah, too bad. They should have really stuck with that guy for much longer. That would have been
Smart Scooby. And Buff Shaggy. I would watch a whole movie of those two.
Yeah, Buff Shaggy and Smart Scooby. I was kind of hoping, because it's been, oh my god, I don't know, 15, 16 years since I've seen this. But I was kind of hoping that the rest of the movie would just have Smart Scooby and Buff Shaggy. Like, I was
so.
Well, and the fun thing about the first movie is that when everybody's souls are trading bodies, they play with that for like 20, 25 minutes. It's a big chunk of the movie. Here, they have a similar idea, and they just dispose of it after a minute.
Yeah, it's too bad. That would have been so good. They would have been so sad after they lose their new powers. But no, he's just happy.
I like the idea of Scooby's intelligence being such a burden that he's desperate to become stupid again. That would have been a fun arc.
I mean, maybe if you're just a horrible dog, you might be happier being dumb, I guess.
But the chemicals in there, it would have been more interesting if the chemicals in there was nothing that he could do to turn himself back, and so
he has to give himself brain damage, like he takes a hammer and starts slamming himself in the head.
It's just horrible for him all along. Yeah, that would have been
plays
great.
Football with Buff Shaggy. And Buff Shaggy just gets stupider too. But another big aspect of this movie is like, are the different characters trying to figure out how they actually work in the group, and they go to sort of painstaking lengths, especially in the third act, to be like, oh, they're all important. They're all doing their own little job. And then, of course, Scooby saves the day with the fire extinguisher at the end, which, again, is another, like, kind of early aughts thing, because it's made to look like, almost like the X Games, skateboarding, surfing, which is, super, super popular back then. He's, like, skateboarding with the fire extinguisher.
Now, I don't know how the physics or the science work here. Now, am I to believe a fire extinguisher works by anything it touches freezes in place, and that's why it puts out fire, because it's the opposite of hot? Because everything he hits with this thing, like, freezes into ice, and then he shatters it.
Yeah.
I mean, there might be some that work that way, but most of them just, like, suffocate the fire with foam, I guess.
Yeah, they just suffocate the fire.
So I'm gonna have to go update the goofs and gaffs section on IMDb for this film.
It was a complete
you can also
failure.
update.
That's not how that
you
works.
can also update the goofs and gaffs and say, well, Scooby starts running, but he's like in place for like a second, and then he starts moving forward.
Well, that's
Scooby defies gravity in this shot, and then his neck becomes so long that he would have died.
I think it's been established that this takes place in the Scooby-Doo cartoon physics universe, so I'll give them credit for Scooby running in place when a trap hole opens beneath him. But how about this?
No, it's all cartoon physics.
What do you guys think about this? In this movie, we have Pimp Shaggy and Afro Scooby. Is this the worst scene in the film or the best scene in the film?
I love how they're just masters in disguise. Nobody can tell.
Scooby's wearing fucking his initials on his necklace.
Yeah, and then he's dancing to was it Sly and the Family Stone song?
I don't know.
I think it's Sly and the Family Stone. He's like doing a disco dance. I mean, it's disco and it's what, 2004? It's not the 70s anymore. Was
this offensive to the African-American community at the time?
I mean, I don't think it could have possibly been offensive to anyone at the time.
The Scooby-Doo with a big afro? You know, what's up, dog? You know, a whole new meaning.
I mean, maybe nowadays it might be a problem, but back then, certainly not.
And, and then the one guy, Wickles, I think, is like, oh, I feel bad for your brother because he has like a nose problem. He's like deformed.
Yeah, because the other people at the bar, they don't know that this is a dog. They have to assume this is a human being of some race. So to point out his absurd nose is perhaps a little mean.
But then the woman says, "What's up, dog?" You know, and she clearly can tell, and then he starts barking, but nobody understands.
I don't know. I've seen real human beings bark when they see a woman and get horny.
It's like, at least it's a better line than I also watched The Covenant the other night, and there's a scene near the beginning of the movie where they're in a cafeteria and this guy picks up an apple, and Jake Gyllenhaal goes up to him and goes, "How do you like them apples?"
Oh,
I don't know. That sounds pretty epic to me.
Yeah, it's a Florian level joke. Guys, let's talk about the beginning of the movie, because we have the Mystery Inc. gang. They're world famous at this point, so much so that they're opening an entire museum dedicated just to the crimes that they solved. And first of all, they pull up in a mystery machine limo, which I thought was absolute fucking Kino, perhaps the greatest vehicle in any movie we've watched on this podcast. Would you guys not want to travel in that limo?
It never comes back in the movie. How strange.
Yeah, it's too bad. That should just be the new mystery machine.
I guess they just rented it, you know? They didn't own it.
That car has to exist in real life, right? Like, they made that for the movie. Where is it now, 20 years later?
Maybe they just CGI stretched the regular mystery machine.
Maybe it's kind of like the Oscar Mayer Weenie Mobile. You know, you have to have a PhD or whatever to drive it around.
And then it just randomly goes around the country and you can take a selfie with it.
Yeah.
As they're walking up to this museum premiere, each of the gang has their own fan club. And of course, we're here as the Velma fan club. But this movie features a Velma fan club of its own. Do we think we could defeat them? These three fat, nerdy-looking women who are streaking over Velma. Are we the superior Velma fan club?
I think I could take him in a mud wrestling match.
So they'd probably win.
They would win? Florian, please.
I mean, I could never hit a woman. Come on.
No, you do mud wrestling. You don't have to hit them.
Unless it's consensual, of course.
What if Velma, all leather clad, but still wearing glasses for your sake and not wearing any high heels? What if she said, "Florian, I will blow you if you fight these women"? Then would your morals will be left at the door?
I mean, I guess I'd have no choice.
That's right.
Talking about the leather clad, you know, and speaking about how sort of childish this movie is, how many fart jokes are there in this movie?
Too many. And as somebody who had not seen this film, there were scenes that I had seen before because I remembered them from the trailer when I was 8 years old. And one of them is when Scooby farts and Shaggy says he does that when he gets nervous. I had somehow seen that clip 500 times despite never seeing the movie. So clearly they were filling the trailer with all the fart jokes, and they really wanted the kid audience for this one.
Yeah, because when Velma's in her in her leather suit. The leather is like moving around, and it sounds like she's farting, and she's like, "Oh, that's not me, that's the suit." And then Scooby farts, and then he farts in Minor 49er's face to epically own him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think they increased the fart jokes from the first movie about tenfold.
I mean, that sounds like an excellent fart joke there. Damn.
Which I mean, I might be wrong. I'm no Scooby-Doo expert, but I do not believe the cartoon has fart jokes. I might be wrong.
Allowed, and I don't think that was allowed back then when the cartoon originally aired.
They just had standards. Like, they had to actually think of a fucking joke. They couldn't just, staple joke for children. Children love farts and poop. Just throw that shit in there.
I mean, what do you do if it's literally forbidden? I mean, they had dumb jokes as hell in that cartoon.
Limitations breed creativity, Florian. If you say you're not allowed to do a fart joke, that cartoon is going to, like, automatically be much funnier than a fart joke cartoon, just because they couldn't do it.
I mean, I disagree, but okay.
That's insane. That's an insane thing to disagree with.
Surprised you're pro-censorship of farts here, damn.
It's not pro-censorship. It's, do you not agree that limitations and restrictions breed creativity? And if you disagree, I mean, it's just a fact of life, so I don't know how you could.
I mean, like, those restrictions back then were definitely not good. Like, you couldn't show, like, a bad guy in a sympathetic light and shit like that. No, that doesn't really breed too much... It's not good.
Well, sympathy is subjective, okay? I felt bad for every villain in the original Scooby-Doo, you know? Like, those kids should not have been in the museum at night, and he needed to protect it with his Black Knight armor. Just because you only sympathize with characters when, like, the score of the show is, like, being very melancholy and they're, like, begging you, like, please feel bad for this character, he's relatable. You know, back then you had to have a brain to truly feel bad for these people.
I wanted to see a backflash of how his dog was killed. Yeah, I wanted to see a flashback of when his dog was killed, which explains why he was now evil. Okay?
Don't say flashback. Keep saying backflash, please.
Now you keep confusing me.
It's backflash.
Yeah, it's backflash.
Yeah, I'm sure.
You think Kino Corner would lie to you?
Yeah. All liars. I can't rely on anyone. I'm going to be a villain now.
Well, did you feel sympathy for the villain of this film, Florian?
No.
What was his plot?
The fake news media.
He just, like, what did he want to do?
I mean, he just wanted to be a pterodactyl.
Yeah, he, like, escaped from prison and faked his death and then, like, became a woman and perfectly, like, had the form and shape of a woman despite just wearing a rubber mask, and he had, like, the voice of a woman. He somehow got a job as a, like, famous fucking reporter who's on the news in whatever, Coolsville, like, this huge city. Why does he need the monster plot? Like, he has recreated his identity, faked his death as a villain or as a criminal, and now he's a famous reporter. Why not just keep doing that?
I mean, like, what the science required would have already made him pretty successful as well if he had used it for good, you know? So what
got me about his character that made no sense was that he has this potion that turns you into a woman, yet he's just wearing like a rubber mask of a woman.
Is that what
and he has the voice of a woman and everything.
Wait a moment, exactly. Did he use that potion and it changed everything except for his face, and that's why you had to wear the rubber mask?
You know what?
Is that how it works?
That might actually be the explanation, and that does make sense. Because, why would they have Shaggy takes a potion that gives him big, sexy titties, and then, like, have that not play into the... And I think that actually does make sense.
Damn, that's brilliant. We solved the case.
But somehow when he takes off the woman mask, like, his titties go away. I don't know how that happened.
Yeah.
Is that what happened? Damn.
Yeah. It's like he's like fully a man after they take off the mask. It's Tim Blake Nelson.
Oh, that's okay.
And then he has a German accent again. Hell yeah.
Yeah, Tim Blake Nelson, known for some great movies, and then Scooby-Doo 2.
He wasn't even in most of it, you know. Like, I mean, not with his real voice, anyways. He just comes in at the end, and it's like, oh, it was me all along.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that is kind of the Scooby-Doo. Well, I mean, sort of. Yes, it's kind of the Scooby-Doo thing. You know, they usually show like who the actual villain is kind of early on. It's like
I've seen some Scooby-Doos by now.
But I knew for a fact that like they were like he was lost at sea, never found again. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, he's the bad guy. Like,
yeah. Are you sure you?
They never found the body.
You didn't see that old man who was like scowling in the crowd. You didn't think that was the villain.
Yeah, the old man who's obviously another red herring. And then his amusement park idea was just to get kids to mine for him.
Yeah, he wants to give like 8-year-olds the authentic mining experience, but they're actually like going into the mines and doing work. Which is it's funny because that like Iowa law recently passed that children can become miners again. So it's like, art imitates life and etc.
Yeah, that mine could have been like the perfect business opportunity, okay? If it weren't for those meddling kids and the dog. He could have made big money on that, He could have opened parts of that mine all over America,
Okay, I want to talk about the theme of the movie, and they had some good ideas for themes in the first movie. This one is very watered down, cartoonish. The idea of am I good enough for my friend group? All of the characters are secretly harboring this insecurity about their place in the gang and whether they actually belong. And then, by the end, we realize, oh, we were all thinking the same thing. I guess we were all we all thought of the other people as being better than us. Was that relatable, Florian? Do you ever feel like you are in some sort of group that maybe like you're the lesser of the people there and you maybe don't stack up as well?
I feel like pretty much the opposite of that. Why do I even hang out with you people? Jeez, you're so far beneath me.
Well, I wasn't talking about us. I don't. What are you talking about?
Okay.
I was just asking in general.
Well, yeah, I guess my friends in real life are pretty cool. Yeah, maybe.
You're the loser of the group?
Maybe.
But here's where the theme is completely fucking forced and retarded, and I was fuming with rage. There's a great fight scene between this, I don't know if it was a night monster or what it was.
It was the night, yeah.
Yeah, and Daphne, is single-handedly sword fighting, saving Velma's life the whole time. Like, they would all be dead if Daphne did not fight this dude for 5 minutes straight.
Yeah.
The very next scene, the reporter somehow convinces Daphne that she's just a pretty face who does not contribute anything to the gang, and Daphne buys into this completely and spends the rest of the movie moping, oh, am I just a pretty face? What do I actually contribute? Bitch, you just sword fighted the dude for 5 minutes! Velma would have been cut in half! What is this forced bullshit?
I like that they stuck with the fact from the last movie that she became really good at fighting and now she continues to be really good at fighting. But then the fact that she's so easily convinced of this, I guess maybe she is just a stupid blonde,
Yeah, why are all the characters bizarrely insecure after having full arcs in the previous movie?
Yeah, being really rich and famous.
Yeah, well, like what the fuck?
Maybe they just believe the news about themselves.
They believe the fake news. Yeah.
We're imposters. I don't know. I kind of liked some parts of it. I liked how they give the device to Shaggy and Scooby, and they're like, oh, are they gonna be good enough? And they're like, yeah, we know how to do this shit.
The thing about Scooby and Shaggy in this, the thing about Scooby and Shaggy in this too is that they only you only see them eat a lot when they come across that cotton candy monster. You don't see them down like those huge sandwiches and stuff like you would see in the show. And
they saved up for that monster.
Putting in the cotton candy monster made it like, oh yeah, we got to hit another one of the shows like tropes where Scooby and Shaggy like to eat a lot of food.
I mean, that was my favorite time of them eating anything because it was actually useful. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, and I think there was a missed opportunity earlier in the film when Scooby and Shaggy are being chased by 2 midget skeleton monsters. In my mind, the obvious joke is Scooby starts drooling because it's bones and he starts chewing on them. Like this is a very obvious rock, paper, scissors scenario where Scooby is, easily defeats a bone monster. But no, they have to run away and take trash cans and go down a hill on them. Stupid. Like at least they did it with the cotton candy, but Scooby should have been all over those skeletons.
Well, actually takes dogs quite a while to destroy a bone,
But he should have wanted to chew on them.
and they just
Like
get
I said, it kind of was
disgusted.
playing into that. It was definitely playing into that like early aughts like obsession with like extreme sports because, you know, it's like a ski chase on trash cans down, and you know, and then later Scooby is like skateboarding with a fire extinguisher. It was.
But am I
You
to
know-
believe that a dog would rather eat cotton candy than delicious bones?
I don't think a dog cares. I think a
Nah.
dog would eat both.
I think you're wrong. I think if you have the two options before a dog, I think I know which one it's going to walk up to and chew on.
Is that true? Like, aren't bones like the worst thing you can eat?
Dogs love bones! Come
They
on!
love bones. Haven't you had a dog, Florian?
No, I've not had a dog, but like
They love bones.
the nutritional value of bone meal is very low, I think.
They just like to chew on them. They like something hard to chew on with their teeth, like how my newborn kitten likes to chew on my fucking fingers all day.
Yeah, I mean they evolved to like bones because like most other predators leave the bones behind, you know.
Well, and then in the middle of the bones is bone marrow, which is very nutritious.
Yeah. Oh, I mean like moderately so, I guess. Like not enough to make it worth chewing through bone for most animals.
Are you gonna explain like how it's logically like incorrect for these dogs to be chewing on bones to the dog?
Yeah, I mean obviously the cotton candy would be more nutritious.
Absolutely not. It's just fucking sugar.
I
Yeah,
mean
it's
sugar
just pure
has
sugar.
a lot of calories.
No. You would be better off if you ate nothing but bone marrow than eating fucking cotton candy.
Yeah,
mean, not
bone
when it
marrow
comes
actually has
to-
a lot of
to-
good stuff in it.
Not
A
when
lot
it
of
comes to
prehistoric people
consuming calories.
relied on bone marrow.
Bone marrow is good for like a broth in a soup and stuff. But anyway, I thought of another reason. At first, I thought that this twist ending of who the villain really was complete dog shit and stupid. But now that Florian enlightened me with the sexy lady potion, and something else came to my mind. There was a running joke that this escaped criminal stole the old man's lead role in the play My Fair Lady. So they established that this guy has acting chops, and that's why he could act like the reporter. So it's another
makes
great
also
detail.
sense.
He also probably really likes to cross-dress.
True. What is My Fair Lady about? Is that about a cross-dressing dude? Because then that would make even more sense.
No, it's about like a rich guy. I watched in like elementary school.
Wait, what role
it's
did
like-
he play in it though?
It's like a
Do you
rich guy
remember?
who like
They said the lead.
takes in like this woman who's like kind of lower class, and he teaches her how to act like an upper class lady.
So basically, when Florian has a sugar baby come over.
I think she
Yeah,
actually is a prostitute in that movie, right?
Dropping the
But-
P word on him.
But is the leading role here the lady or the man? I guess he
It's
played the lady.
Maybe he played both. He clearly
Wow.
is capable.
How
Yeah,
impressive!
it's Audrey Hepburn. 1910. I am reading the IMDb because it's been so long since I've seen it. But in 1910's London, snobbish phonetics professor Henry Higgins agrees to wager that he can make crude flower girl Eliza Doolittle presentable in high society. Yeah, so he like teaches her how to act aristocratic.
Okay, we're doing a movie fights right now. Who would you rather fuck, Audrey Hepburn or Velma? Okay, go.
Velma, I guess.
I knew what
Audrey
you were gonna
Hepburn.
pick. Okay, let's hear the movie fights. Do it. I'm gonna choose the winner at the end. You have to convince me. Who should I fuck?
Like, it's pretty
Oh.
obvious that Velma is the best lay because she is really smart. I mean, as long as she keeps her glasses on, otherwise she just like stumbles around. But I'm sure she can work with that one limitation. Maybe she's finally gonna get her contacts, like she says in this movie.
Well,
That would help.
Audrey Hepburn isn't a Four Eyes. Well,
True.
I'm talking about like Audrey Hepburn, like in the 50s and early 60s.
Oh, not today. Just a fucking
She's
skeleton
dead.
in the ground.
Well, that's
Yeah.
cheating.
The Scooby would be all over that though. Or he'd probably run away in fear for some reason.
Yeah, she'd probably be an actual zombie again.
Florian, did you know that Velma plays Hawkeye's wife in the Avengers movies?
I think I actually did look that up. Yes.
You had to know
Yeah.
what other films this actress was in for some reason,
Yes!
Florian?
Great,
She's also in,
isn't it?
she's also in Freaks and Geeks, Linda Cardellini.
So she would have been
That's
even
pretty cool.
younger in that, Florian. Hey, go check it out.
Wow.
3 years younger.
It's a pretty good show.
I never seen it.
Wait, so is that the movie fight, or do you guys have any final points on why I should fuck your character / human?
Well, I'm not exactly like, this isn't exactly something I'm willing to like die on a hill for. I think it's just all up to personal taste.
That's very disappointing.
Well,
you should make a better point.
Yeah, Florian's winning if that's your greatest argument. I'm not willing to die on this hill. You could fuck either one.
Well, I mean, Audrey Hepburn was a professional dancer. She was a ballet dancer, so she's very flexible.
Did she ever have breakfast at Tiffany's?
She did.
Okay, well, that's a point in her favor.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I always like if you have a woman who can dance, do you think you could ask her to dance for you nakedly? Because that'd be really sexy.
Oh, of course you could.
I know, right?
Do you think you could ask a dancing woman to dance for you naked? Wow.
What if we take
I don't think so.
the big disco dance scene at the end of the film and AI make all the characters naked? Then it would be Florian's favorite film.
Wow.
Seth Green and Linda Cardellini doing the kind of goofy dance, but both naked.
That scene when she's wearing the leather outfit, just make her naked, so then there's just fart sounds coming out of nothing.
Wow. Now that's several fetishes at once. Okay, you should definitely go for Velma then.
Seth Green definitely has a fart fetish. I've seen lots of Robot Chicken, and it's pretty clear.
Wow.
I'm surprised you've seen lots of Robot Chicken.
I loved that show when I was 12, tried to rewatch it as an adult, and it's the least funny thing I've ever fucking seen in my life.
See, I remember
watching it. I remember watching it like when I was hanging out with my friends during middle school and thinking, oh, this is funny. I tried to rewatch it a few months ago. I think I turned it off after 3 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's the purest cringe.
It's the ultimate middle school show.
Okay, guys, if you guys want something like that, you should check out Super Mansion because it's something like that, but it's actually funny, and it has Bryan Cranston.
Oh, shit!
That's just really good.
Hey, speaking of Bryan Cranston, he played himself in the new episode of It's Always Sunny, and it was probably the best episode in years.
Yep, can't wait to review that on our El Camino podcast.
Yep. Do we have any other points from Scooby-Doo 2 Monsters Unleashed other than I think Coolsville sucks?
I guess I find it interesting that they chose to go with a magical substance that makes all of the horrors come to life. I wonder if you guys think that they've explored well on that concept or if it was just really boring in the end.
No, I mean, they were just used to make minions for another, villain who was just easily unmasked.
Yeah, I guess if they had, done their own thing, it might have been pretty interesting.
It just, just kind of relied a lot on the nostalgia of the original show, where it's I don't know, I think they could have done something cooler with, death robots or I mean, I don't know, it's a kid's movie from... almost 20 years ago, but it was definitely just using all the villains or the perceived villains from the original show and just turning them, it's oh, they're real this time and they're the minions, but they're actually fairly easily defeated anyways. All you have to do is press a button, they'll go away.
Yeah, I can see why they did not make a Scooby-Doo 3. They really lost steam in the second movie.
Yeah.
I don't mind them dying at a button. That can work, They really worked to press that button, okay? That was not an easy button to press.
The only of the villains, there were only 2 villains who were any kind of threat, really, and that was the blob guy. And then the
electric dude was pretty cool.
Yeah, the electric dude. But, the Miner 49er was never really a threat. And the one goblin dude, I forget what his villain name is. He just kind of stood there. Didn't really do anything.
Chased him for quite a while.
The midget skeletons. But, the midget skeletons were not a threat whatsoever.
It's they just chased them.
They
had knives and stuff, right?
No, And they fell apart so easily, and they kept running into each other and falling apart.
but they kept reassembling.
You could literally breathe on. You could literally breathe on them and they would fall apart.
Florian's watching Scooby-Doo 2 and he's like, this is just like Dark Souls.
Hey, if you ever had played Dark Souls 1 a little further, you would know the true horror of those reassembling skeletons. Okay?
Hey, I played Sekiro, so, once you're at the top of the hill, why even bother going down?
Yeah, I mean, like, that game's pretty good, it's true.
Yeah, it's truly good. So is that our final thoughts on Scooby-Doo 2? Should I say who won the movie fight? We forgot about that.
I wonder who.
Yeah, I'll go with Florian on this one. He didn't give up in his final speech.
But I did recognize that the dancing ladies could be really good.
You think?
Wow.
Do you think the people on actual movie fights cared? No, they argued because Andy Signor was going to give them approval, and they desperately wanted it. Unlike that certain girl.
Movie fights was a thing?
There's an Andy Signor program on Screen Junkies back in the day.
I don't know.
I mean, I didn't know either. I just guessed from the context.
Yeah.
He's had me blocked for forever.
Yeah.
Couldn't die on that hill.
So I'm not in on the lore.
It's all good. I assume most of the audience is in the same boat as you. What should we do? Should we put some things on a Scooby-Doo Velma poll and let the audience vote for which Velma media we watch next? Because I want to put some pup named Scooby-Doo on there, but there's just so much to go through. People wanted us to watch the John Cena WWE Scooby-Doo crossover movie.
Damn, that sounds pretty fun.
Happened?
Yes, it happened. I think it happened twice, according to the comment section. So those are two options on the poll. What else should we put on there?
Well, there's only one type of Scooby-Doo that I know, and it's really stupid, and you guys are gonna hate it. So let's go. Supernatural had an episode where Scooby-Doo was involved.
Okay, I used to date a girl who loved Supernatural, so I'm familiar enough, I guess. I don't dislike that show.
Episode.
Those guys were pretty cool, right? They're like fighting Satan and God and stuff.
Yeah, they're really good, I think. But it just goes on forever, I guess, and people lose interest.
Wow.
We can do a Scooby-Doo and the Cyber Chase where they get sucked inside the internet video game.
Yeah, that's the much better nostalgia bait, because just like this movie, like all of those classic monsters show up in it, but they do it much better.
Yeah, I definitely love classic internet. That'll be great.
Or we could just play the Scooby-Doo Cyber Chase video game for PlayStation 1.
But yeah, if you want to play it, sure.
Yeah, we could review the Let's Play me and my brother beta that like 8 years ago.
Sure, I could watch that again.
Okay, no, we're not doing the Let's Play, but you tune in tomorrow for a poll. You can choose between, I guess, random episodes of A Pup Named Scooby-Doo, John Cena crossover, Supernatural crossover, or Cyber Chase. I would personally vote for Cyber Chase, given those options, but, it is what it is, YouTube.
Yeah, it probably doesn't have the most interesting name, but I guess it does sound most interesting.
The Phantom Cyber is making them go through all their old adventures. Okay?
Yeah.
It's a classic film.
Remember liking it as a kid.
I've never seen it, so it'll be good.
Okay, you guys have anything you want to plug on this great Velma fan club meeting?
Yeah, I mean, you heard I may have reviewed something that wasn't popular, but I'm gonna review Indiana Jones as reviewed by the Drinker next, so that'll be fun. Everyone watch that when it comes out.
I just came out with a video on another round in the hunt, so go check that out. Right after we finish recording this, though, I'm going to be working on my Nightcrawler video that should be out next week.
Oh, we should do an Is It Kino on that movie.
Yeah, it's
please.
A great movie. I watched it twice last night.
Wow. Yeah, I saw that twice in the theater. Wow. Like, I loved it so much, I took a friend to go see it again, like, the next day.
Yeah, why I watched it twice is if there's director's commentary, I'll watch it and then I'll start it over, but with the commentary on it. I'm
actually really interested in this because there's this song, but then I tried to look it up and there was not like a movie that I was thinking, oh yeah, that must be that. There's probably some kind of monster in it. So I'll be very interested to know if there's an actual monster or if it's some kind of human thing.
Wait, Nightcrawler? You don't know what this movie's about? It's a Jake Gyllenhaal.
I have no clue.
Well, don't spoil it for him.
Yeah.
Well, Nightcrawler is a.
Don't even tell him. Don't even tell him. I don't want him to know.
Yeah, no, there's actually a big monster in it that Jake Gyllenhaal has
Damn
to
it.
fight.
Wait, is this the Jake Gyllenhaal movie that ends with the giant spider?
Yeah,
That's the Nightcrawler.
Giant spider that's like in the hotel, in the hotel room, and then it's also like over Quebec or.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, now I'm not sure if there's going to be an actual monster if you guys are trolling me, so that'll be very interesting to finally see.
Florian, are you going to watch a cam rip of this movie because you did not earn the money to buy a ticket?
Wait, is there a new version?
You've got to earn the money to buy a ticket if you want to win the lottery, Florian.
Yeah.
The lottery one.
Hey, do not kill a man so you can sell scrap metal. That's all I'm saying.
I would never watch a cam rip, okay? I don't know where you get these accusations, okay?
Well, this movie's almost 10 years old, so, you can get much higher quality than cam rips.
Yeah, I'll make sure to buy a DVD on Amazon,
Yeah, earn the money to buy that ticket is what I'm saying, Florian. So we'll see you later on with a Nightcrawler review. I'm actually super excited. Jakey Jake is one of the all-time sexiest actors, and I love watching him be a fucking maniac. A deranged fucking lunatic.
Yeah, I picked up on some stuff in this last watch that I kind of missed when I saw it in theaters 9 years ago. I was like, oh shit, this is actually a little bit darker than I remember it being.
Yeah, I can't wait to see him fighting a giant spider boss. That'll be great.
I can't wait to see the 1-star review on Letterboxd from Florian.
No spiders.
Like no monster. No spiders.
Where's the X-Men character?
Everyone acts like that. This Nightcrawler is some kind of mythical monster,
In a way, he is.
Started.
Yeah, in a way, he is like a mythical monster.
Yeah, like the oldest monster known to man, really.
Prostitute.
God damn it.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
See ya.